Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to a little live stream here. I might go an hour or two Friday night. This is the latest I've started a stream in a while. I used to start streams later, but I normally like starting a stream when there's light out. What is up? You did a full body workout. Congratulations, man. I'm trying to see what news is happening tonight. I mean, there's a bunch of people just spam in the chat. I mean, I appreciate you guys for telling me what the news is, but it's like, it's a Friday night. There's not going to be a ton of news. Let's be honest here. Love the start time. Thanks for showing some love to us West Coast people. Yeah, I mean, but you have to you have to realize when it comes to the United States viewing demographics, there's more people on the East Coast than there are in Mountain Time or West. So, but I understand like 9 o'clock is the sweet spot probably for people on the East and West Coast combined because it's 6 o'clock Pacific. So it's a little bit better rather than me going live at 7, which is 4 o'clock Pacific. Late one, yeah, we'll see some of this news here. We'll see what some of this is. Like, they're just obsessed with, like, this Social Security. Now they're saying the Social Security will be shifting its public communication exclusively to X. Wired says that this is absolutely false. Pure fake news. It's like they're trying to manipulate the public into thinking that Trump's going to do something to Social Security when, yeah, something needs to be done to Social Security, but he hasn't said that he's going to do anything at all. It's another one of these crazy psyops. Thoughts on the helicopter crash in the Hudson River? Yeah, I know they're investigating it. It was very, very sad. The photo of the family beforehand, it's terrible. Terrible. And you can see the helicopter come crashing down. You can see the propellers spin off of it and torpedo, like, hit the water extremely hard. Oh, man. Like, dude, I go live late and people think come on, guys. I was at the movies. I went to see a film called The Amateur. It was a fine movie. It was okay. You think Luigi acted alone? He seems like a wacko, that dude. Probably, but I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked into that case, honestly. Trump just authorized the military to start taking control of public land along the southern border. No Minecraft movie? No, there's a bunch of kids up there. Dude, it's funny. You should see the timings, or like the showing times. So the Minecraft movie, it's like 4:30, 5:10, 5:40, 6:05, 6:35, 7:20, 7:40, 8:05, and it's just hordes of kids. You know, I go up, you enter the theater, and there's just it's like a nursery daycare with the amount of kids that are in line. I'm like, I want to try and get something to drink. You know, they mark this stuff up ridiculously. It's like $5 for a bottle of water. I can get this for like $1. You get half of it for $5 at the movie theaters. Normally, I actually get something to drink, but I couldn't get any concessions because it's like, I went to see Snow White. I didn't go see the Minecraft movie, man. I didn't care about that. Like, dude, to me, this has got to be rage. Like, I think Whoopi's doing 3D trolling here when she's talking about egg prices not falling. Like, seriously, you run a political show. Could you at least do a little bit of research? Egg prices have not fell 1 cent. And then Sonny Liston's like, yes, you're right, Whoopi. Like, bitch, what is the purpose of having a show if you don't do any research beforehand? But I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. It's not the demographic that's going to watch them. Brooks needs to be investigated. I mean, Trump said about a month ago in a statement that they were putting people on the Crooks case, and he was a patsy completely. I mean, that kid weighed about 103 pounds. He's just going to waltz up and have perfect line of sight on Trump, but he's it by himself. I mean, that's complete and utter horseshit, and everybody knows it. And so many people wanted Trump dead, and Trump was obviously, at that point, going to be officially the Republican choice with the inauguration in like a month, if you remember correctly. That was July 13th, I believe. That's why you go to Dollar Tree before. Me and my friend used to do that. We used to load up. We don't do that anymore. But yeah, you go to like you go to like a CVS or something. Actually, CVS marks up their shit too. Yes, don't go to CVS to get candy either. You have adult theaters in Ohio? No, not that kind. The ones where they serve alcohol during the movie and you have a seat service. Yeah, I'm probably like 30 minutes away from me. I've seen those advertised. They're like in big, newer like strip areas where there's a lot of outdoor shopping. That's where those type of movie theaters tend to be. But it's like an upgraded experience. Yeah, I wouldn't mind going to one of those one time. I mean, we have a pretty nice theater that got renovated and pretty nice seats, but it's not like a crazy VIP level theater. It's just a normal theater. Eggs are down like $2 here. Eggs are lower than they were when Trump entered office. Remember, Trump entered the White House. Eggs shot up, not because of Trump. Then they blamed Trump. Eggs are lower than when Trump entered office, and now they're still blaming Trump and saying the eggs haven't dropped at all, when we have graphs that show all the egg prices are down. Trump saying he'd ace a cognitive test. I mean, I think he would, honestly. I don't really see Trump significantly worse in terms of his mental acuity relative to 4 or 5 years ago. I think he's pretty similar. Kid on the roof didn't take the first shot, just the following ones. I don't know, man. That seems like they would have been someone would have been able to prove that by now. The amount of times that video of the shots were combed through by so many independent people. You know, there were the theories about the shooter on the water tower, but those were false. Did you see Tim Pool's commentary on Carmelo Anthony? Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. I'm really not sure what's going on with Tim Pool exactly. I saw his video where he said it was self-defense, but then he like agreed that it wasn't with Matt Walsh. I really don't know what he's doing. And he had the whole meeting with Netanyahu. But like, that's why when you're a fanboy to one of these guys, it's like, it's just not like now people are saying I'm unfollowing Tim Pool and stuff. It's like, I don't know what he's doing. He thinks it's self-defense. He's comparing it to Rittenhouse. It's a total false equivalency. That's what they're trying to do. It's another race type killing. So they're trying to compare it to Rittenhouse and Daniel Penny, but it's false equivalency. It's not the same situation, so you can't compare it. You're comparing different variables. So there's no point in comparing things that are different. Because I've read the police report on the Metcalf killing, and I think he'll be charged with murder. Trump is a lot quieter though. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, it depends. He seems tired some days. He does seem tired. Remember at that crypto conference, he was like, "Get me the fuck out of here." Dude, he was pissed off at that crypto conference. Vivek debated an Ohio mom. What was the topic? If it's an interesting topic, I'll take a look at it. Tim Pool has been called a grifter for years. Well, I mean, I feel like pretty much every mainstream person on either side is going to be called a grifter. So it's like, that's pretty standard. But recently, I don't know what he's been doing. I mean, he's like, well, I'm standing, but it's like, he's not even accurately explaining the situation between Anthony and Metcalf. What's Polymarket look like? There's a lot of shit on Polymarket, man. There's a lot of shit. They're loading up Polymarket now, feels like. They keep coming out with new shit every day. It's all about the tariffs and stuff. U.S. trying to trade deal before June 60. I think there's going to have to be some. See, the question is they could agree to like a temporary trade deal, or you know how Trump does it with these type of things where he'll temporarily lower the tariffs. I mean, I think even if they do agree to some type of new trade deal, there's still going to be substantial tariffs on China, depending on the sector. Because that's been Trump's strategy all along with China, and you can do it on China. Some of these other countries, it's harder to do because you can't supply certain things as easy as you can with China, to where we can make all the shit that China makes for the most part. Have you watched the Tucker Carlson Alex Jones interview? Just finished watching it. Yeah, I mean, I saw most of it. It was a bunch of, Alex was talking about the lawfare against him, and Nico from Tennessee holding out. I saw that right before I came on stream. Lama Leva. Yeah, I don't think that kid's good enough to do that. But they're so pampered nowadays. These college players hold out for new deals. They need to be paid more money. Rory McIlroy, the favorite to win the Masters. It'd be good to see Rory win another major. U.S. military action against Iran before July. 24%. Hopefully that's not going to happen, but who knows? Do you think Alberta will join the U.S.? Oh, yeah, I have a map. Someone in my Discord made this. Very nice map. I appreciate it. Honestly, I don't even think this is really worth doing, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. So this is a map of kind of, I don't even think, how do you zoom in on desktop? I don't even know if you can. But yeah, so this is the U.S. acquiring all of Canada. This is probably how Canada would vote, by the way. I think it's pretty accurate. I mean, you could argue maybe Manitoba. I didn't realize how many people were in British Columbia. They would get 9 electoral votes. Alberta would get 8. Saskatchewan and Manitoba would get 4. Quebec would get 14. Ontario would get 22. See, that's the problem with that's the problem with acquiring Canada. But I appreciate this, and he's also got like the state of Jefferson, Lincoln County, the greater Idaho. There's some gerrymandered stuff here for Republicans, picking up a few more electoral votes in California. But I thought it was pretty cool, so I shared it with people. Some people were, not happy with it, but it's a fun thing to look at. Do you think Trump will weaken China with trade deals? Well, it certainly seems like he's trying to do that to a degree. I mean, we'll have to see what the trade deal ends up being. If he plays real hardball, I mean, China has to come to the table. I mean, but both countries do need to have a trade deal, but it hurts China obviously significantly more than it hurts us. I mean, it's going to hurt us to a degree. That's why they say nobody wins in a trade war, but it's about reliance. And the thing with the Chinese is they're fine with putting their citizens through economic turmoil. They really don't care, but they don't want to be seen as cucks to the United States. And they think, well, the United States has a lot more rich people. If they continue this trade war with us, their stocks are going to go down and things are going to cost more, stuff like that. So they understand that, yes, we have most of the leverage, but we don't have all the leverage because they still produce our shit. So until we cut that cord with them, and you kind of do it through different stages, that's why you do these tariffs, we're going to have at least a connection with the Chinese until we fully cut the cord and become independent. Yeah, I put it on normal latency tonight, so there should be no frame drop at all. You streaming the Canadian election? Yeah, I mean, that's good. That should be a big stream for me, dude. I gotta stream that for sure. But I mean, I go live like 5-6 nights a week, so me not streaming it would be kind of be dumb as hell. So I'll stream it. Yeah. You said Rory was a normie pick 2 days ago. Well, yeah, he still is. I mean, he's like the most popular golfer in the tournament. What's up, my liberal brother? What's going on? You want to know who's very liberal? Nunavut. They're dark blue. Yeah, they're voting for the new Democrat Party apparently in the election on the 28th. Nunavut is. They get 1 electoral vote. Greenland gets 1 electoral vote. Adding Canada wouldn't add more electoral votes. It would just be 538 spread. Well, I mean, you could do either one. You could keep it 538 and then take some away from the lower 48 and give them to Canada, or expand it. I'm actually in favor of expanding it because I don't want lower 48 states to lose electoral votes personally. You think the debate's April 17th? Yeah, I know. I don't know if I'll be watching the debate. I feel like it'll be pretty boring for me. I mean, I'd see the clips from it. I said on stream, if we get 1,000 likes, I'll give all of his subscribers Bitcoin. I don't even have any Bitcoin, man. Honestly. Hopefully weed coin goes up. That's what I need. What liberal politician or governor do you see positively? Well, I mean, there were definitely some liberals 20, 30 years ago that were definitely more tolerable than they are now, because especially in Western culture, everyone's gotten more to the left. And so it's just hard because it's like we're already up against it with a lot of these right-wing people being moderate. Now you're asking me who on the left. It's like they're already so far left. But I mean, obviously, you know, you go back to the 90s on certain things, Clinton wasn't bad. But even back in the 90s, he was seen as more of a moderate Democrat. Nowadays, a lot of his stances would be more moderate Republican. Adding Canada would only boost the population by 35 million. And Canada is very small. That's why they put that initiative in. It's like the New Century or some bullshit initiative to where they're trying to get... they're trying to double their population, I think, by 2100 or 2150 or some bullshit. I mean, that's crazy, and that would not be a good thing for them if they did that. But I mean, it is what it is. It's like Trump taking over jurisdiction over public land along the border. Better not be seizing any privately owned land. Well, I think it's very important to have full... I think this is good because this will vacuum seal the border. If you have full control over all of the borderland. Nice timepiece. Yeah, I gotta get a new watch, honestly. I don't really wear watches very often. I constantly... You know, I wear long sleeves. But I got short sleeves now. This is a rare time for me. I like wearing long sleeves. I don't. But during the summer, you kind of have to wear short sleeves. But I'll never wear shorts. You're never going to see me wear shorts. I don't like wearing shorts at all. I just wear jeans, pretty much. And I don't really like, even when it's hot out, I don't like wearing shorts. Show Vivek. Well, dude, it's like some bullshit debate. Like, I really don't give a shit about watching like a 20-minute Vivek debate with some rando. Is this what it is? It's only a minute 50? Okay, I'll watch this then.
I think when you say that you're going to reward the teachers who have higher merit, you're going to reward them with higher pay, I think what you're really saying and giving yourself the chance to say the subtext of it is that a lot of other teachers can be let go under the guise of that. Maybe setting the bar too high and then firing a lot of teachers. That's what I'm afraid of.
What I want is to attract the best. So I know a lot of young people who want to go into the teaching profession who aren't going to do it because they don't make enough money doing it.
Sure.
I think we could make our state a magnet for the best educators across the country. But I do think there has to be some performance-based element to it. It's not all teaching to the test. I think teachers know, for example, in the school, who's carrying their weight and who's not. So one of the things you could have is peer assessments in the school. You could have parental assessments. Often parents know whether their kids are thriving in the classroom or not. So I'm open-minded to how we do it. But the status quo isn't working. I think we have to achieve at a higher level for our students in math and reading and writing and civic education, even financial literacy. And here's the other thing in our schools that I want to improve is, no, it's not a political point here, but it's a really important point. time, the utilization of time in our schools. 8 hours a day that our kids are spending there, there's a lot better way we could even use that time, using technology, using advanced approaches that are now available that didn't exist when we were in school, to on a tailored basis give every kid the best possible classroom experience they can have. And I realize that's not what gets posted on social media, or that's not what necessarily gets on the evening news or whatever. These are areas where we could have rational adult conversations that have nothing to do with private versus public, but how do you improve the delivery of education? And I'm here for it. I'm all in for it. I want to listen to every Ohioan.
I'm in for it too.
Yeah, but that idea on what he wants to do with the teachers, it doesn't really work out, because you're just incentivizing the teachers to give out better grades. And I mean, I understand the idea of what Vivek is trying to do. It's all about meritocracy. Trust me, we know what the H-1Bs. Is there one of those betting polls on Iran's verdict tomorrow? What do you mean, the meeting? Well, I don't think there's going to be a deal tomorrow, man. Seems like they're far away from a deal. But I mean, ideally, it would be encouraging talks, basically. But I mean, that's probably what it's going to end up being. They'll say there's encouraging talks, but there's no deal. You think Vivek is a con man, not America first? I don't know. You know, I go back and forth on Vivek. It's just that, you know, I think Vivek on most issues is pretty rock solid. It seemed like he really wanted to do a lot of radical shit, and that might be why they sidelined him. They say, well, he's running for governor now, so that's why he wasn't able to be part of Doge. But, you know, they made a big U-turn on that. He was going to be part of the administration. And they said, no, it's not going to happen. And then I think they used the excuse that now he's running. Maybe he was going to do it anyways, but it's like, you don't advertise all of this. It was like Vivek and Musk were going to be this dynamic duo. And then you had the whole controversy with the H-1B stuff right around Christmas. And I think he's solid on like 80% of the stuff, but Vijay Singh is going to win the Masters. Isn't he like they allow the veterans to play in the Masters? I like that. If you win the Masters, you can play in it when you're like 70 years old. Pretty nice. It's a good tradition. You prefer standard time instead of daylight saving? Yeah, I think Trump's going to switch it. I would imagine Trump probably switches it. I wonder if they've actually got this time. Daylight savings. Trump eliminate daylight savings? Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think Trump's going to go to permanent daylight savings time, which is probably what about 70% of the population wants, if I had to guess. Basically, permanent means that it's going to be lighter later in the winter, but it's also going to be darker at like 8 or 9 a.m., depending on where you live. But it's going to be lighter later. And, you know, they're all about optimization. You do lose money, technically, because of the changing the clocks twice. It's not much, though. But Trump keeps talking about it. We lose so much money. I mean, you do, but based on the budget, it's really nothing. But I guess Trump doesn't want that, and so Trump, I mean, it is semi-popular to do what he's doing. It seems like a lot of people are tired of changing the clocks twice. This deal has been floating around in our trade deals. Require other countries to tariff China. I don't know if we have that much power to do that. Maybe. I mean, you're going to agree to a trade deal with the EU and then force the EU to tariff China. I guess it depends on the country that's doing it. Trump cannot switch it, only Congress can. But I think it would have a lot of support. I mean, there's nothing, crazy about it. People have been demanding it for a while. You've been liking 8 p.m. sunsets? Yeah, I mean, I like when the sun stays up later. So especially when I live stream and it's still light out, it's nice. It gives you some perspective rather than just constantly streaming in the dark. If you had to guess, which would go first, Virginia or New Mexico to go red? I don't think either. Like in 2028, I don't think either. In general, probably New Mexico. Lower population. Virginia, there's just too many DC transplants. They're just infesting Northern Virginia. I mean, you could argue Virginia with Youngkin, though. Versus New Mexico kind of seems like it's stuck. Like a 6-point win for Harris. People were talking about New Mexico. Trump made that random trip to New Mexico like 4 days before in Albuquerque, New Mexico. People were pissed off. They're like, he shouldn't be going there. It's kind of weird that he went there and not New Hampshire, but I guess it doesn't matter. You support permanent daylight savings time. Switch itself is causing physical harm to people with accidents. It's also popular in Canada. Well, I mean, accidents happen, because of the change, and I guess people aren't ready for it. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. It's probably few and far between, but if they tick up a little bit, I could understand. Some of your Republican peers think Trump has gone retarded and is wrong with the tariffs. It seems so obvious the game theory Trump is using, but it could be bad for midterms. Yeah, I've seen that sentiment with Republicans, to where they think it was too much too soon. They wanted Trump to strategically do it rather than dump all of them. All I can say is it's kind of irrelevant in a sense, because it's already happened at this point. And I think Trump was probably planning on keeping them in place until the yields ballooned and he said, well, we have to do something. So the negotiations will happen. You'll be able to salvage it as long as you get lower interest rates. We've already got the lower inflation, which is the first step of it. We should have a good economic situation by 2026. I know a lot of people are talking about the midterms, not happy, because, yeah, if the midterms were right now, it'd be a problem, but they're not. Midterms were in a month, it'd be a problem. This is why you do this, and then you give yourself a runway, and you allow the market to mature under Trump. And so I think we'll be in a different position next year. How old is that thumbnail photo? Maybe like a year. Maybe a year and a half, I don't know. Markets were good today. Hopefully the incoming deals will rebound pre-tariff. Well, I mean, we want a rebound, but we also want the rate cuts, which I think are going to happen pretty much no matter what the markets do. But, I mean, it would be fine if the markets were tame for another few weeks. Did MS-13 illegals get sent back to U.S. by judges' orders? I believe that's what happened. Didn't they rule on that? Wasn't that the Supreme Court that ruled that had to be done? To me, it's shocking if that actually was legitimate. I mean, they're like, well, if these people are illegal, they're in a gang like this. Look on that. My cat was trapped. Gulf of America was renamed because Biden outlawed drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of a funny rumor. Is that actually legitimate? This was the best weeks of stocks since 2023. Well, that's because they were pounded last week. But it is funny to think about, because everyone was talking about Black Monday and then it didn't do much, and then we had the crazy Tuesday, and the bond market is looking incredibly juicy, locking at 5% for 30 years, best discount in decades. Yeah, if you have money. I mean, with bonds, it's it's like anything in the stock market. If you have money, it's very easy to make more money. If you don't have a lot of money, 5% is, with the capital that I have, there's no way I'd do 5%. I mean, 5% is good, no doubt, but what is this? We are all immigrants. This dude is zooted. Dude, what is going on? And then he gets up. Oh, bro. The Fed's gonna have to step in and cut these with this yield. Why the late start today? I went to a movie. And I feel like, whenever I go on X, it's always they really got to clean X up, man. They really got to, because it's like you go on here, it's a Russian roulette thing. When I scroll on here randomly, that's the problem. That dude was zooted. That's a good phrase. Is that actually a phrase or no? Maybe it just created a cultural reference. High yields is why the Fed won't cut. Fed cuts when yields are low. Yeah, but they also cut when inflation is low. Look at it. Look at the truflation. Look at the market. The market's been shit the past month. They need to cut. Would you accept Alberta, Saskatchewan as states or territories? States. But I mean, honestly, either one doesn't really matter to me. But maybe probably better off their territories. But I think they'd both vote Republican. So they're gonna vote Republican. I mean, if we can add the electoral votes, you had the governors, you had the senators. I mean, it helps. There's no doubt about it. People bitching about stocks, but it's a good buying opportunity. It'll shoot up once the Fed cuts. Yeah, I agree. Like, let's see the 1 week performance. Yeah, there's Nvidia up almost 18%. Tesla only up around 5.5%. But this is really why we need them to cut. Steve Bannon, big day on Bill Maher. How was it? See crypto. Crypto's been chilling. And is this seriously how crypto's been doing well the past weeks? BTC up to 83K. Positive futures market. seems like in Canada, all current incumbents are having boosts by both conservatives and liberals. Nova Scotia has a conservative premier with a huge approval, and that's a liberal province. Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic in Canada. I'll have to familiarize myself with Canadian politics and how it's done there. I just really just know the basics of Canada, but if I'll cover the election, I'll learn a bit more. I'll watch the debate. I'll see. I'm surprised. I really am surprised it's like this. I thought it would be like 60-40 at this point rather than 75-25. But I mean, it might come back a little bit. We'll have to see. I mean, Canada is just liberal. That's what people have to understand. Even with their terrible performance, they've been rejuvenated now with Carney and Trudeau out and Trump annexation. And you like that crypto markets don't close? Yeah, I do too. Obviously, once you start like following that, it becomes second nature. But sometimes sometimes I do wish crypto markets would close just because it's like, just give me a break. Sometimes I think that because with stocks they get nice breaks on the weekends. You can reassess your portfolio and everything. But with crypto, it's always on. You think Stephen A. Smith is the Democrats' political outsider hero? You wouldn't be surprised if he got the nomination. I don't think he will. I think it's all bullshit grift. Like, it's just all so low rate. Like, oh, I'm going to call it the Democrats because no one else will, and I'm a Democrat, but we got to do better. It's like, all right, man. Like it's 3.5 years until the election. What people are saying right now is completely irrelevant on either side, really. But Vance, I mean, what Vance does, it matters because he's trying to make a name for himself. But in terms of the Democrats, I think it's all irrelevant. Like, the Democrats are going to have to reassess their party after the midterms, so you got to see how well they perform. You're young. I was around for .com bubble, 9/11, banking, housing, and yeah, I was pretty young even for the 08 housing bubble. Debate live stream. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, the thing is I'll either do, because the thing is, if I stream every night, maybe I should do it. I don't know. What are their copyright laws in other countries? DNC debates are going to be interesting in 2028. Looking forward to the crap show over the RNC. Yeah, I mean, dude, people kind of hyped up the DNC debates in 2020. They were total flops. But I understand because, like, AOC is going to be involved now. You'll probably get a few outsiders. Newsom, he's a showman. So, yeah, I mean, definitely the DNC debates will probably be better than the Republican. But Vance will still have to prove himself to a degree, or at least go out there and debate like 5 or 6 times, I would imagine. What are the chances Russia ever invades Alaska? It's just not worth it for them. They wouldn't want to take on the United States. Like, if Russia had serious power over the U.S., hypothetically, because of how disconnected Alaska is from the lower 48, but they would have to have so much power and be able to exude it over the United States. You just cross right over the Bering Strait. Sometimes it's frozen to where it's basically connected, where Russia and the United States are connected, but they would have to have so much, military personnel out there. The United States would know it was happening. And Alaska is such a big state. The United States is too powerful for Russia to even try something like that. It would not be worth it at all. Alaska, you know what? That's always what they'll say, guys. If anyone ever comes to you and tries to get you, what's the biggest state in the United States? It's always Alaska. But they try and get you because it's, not connected. People say Texas. What if Romney beat Obama in 2012? Well, we'd have a much more Ryanified Republican Party. Because then Romney would be running as an incumbent in 2016. Maybe you're an incumbent, you have an advantage. Well, for Alberta, they can get a referendum. It would be tough for Quebec because they've already voted twice, and they said no. Yeah, but I'm not really interested in Quebec being an independent country themselves. I would rather they stay a part of Canada no matter what. So for me, I would just, because Quebec what would they just be, an independent country if they seceded from Canada? I mean, you're talking about all of Canada like fracturing, and then it just inevitably all joins the United States, which is what I really wouldn't want. Why the fuck is Piers Morgan on Bill Maher? Because those guys, they all know each other. They get views. They do the collabs. That's pretty much it. Doesn't Russia have the largest nuke that can destroy the size of Texas? To me, I would be very shocked if we hadn't developed significant. I mean, at a certain point, nukes, there's no point in developing them to be past a certain size. They've tested the biggest nuclear bomb. I've seen YouTube videos on it, but with nukes, basically the public information is that Russia has the most advanced nuclear technology. Again, not that it matters because we've got good enough technology, but I think we've got more advanced technology than them. We're just not sharing it. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense based off of our technological might against us and China. I think probably have the two most advanced nuclear bombs, even more so than Russia. We don't share a lot of information on it. Nukes are overrated. Not really. Ask the Russians. The Russians always threaten nukes. That's why they haven't been trampled by NATO, because they threaten nukes. If there were no nukes involved, the NATO troops would just trample Russia and force them back across their border. But you can't do that because you have to take nukes into account with Putin. And Putin likes that. He likes being unpredictable and likes the threat of nukes. It's not even about nukes. It's about threatening them. Alaska is pretty, but a terrible place to live. It's a frozen hellscape. Yeah, well, I mean, Alaska gets warm in the summer in some areas, but for the most part, it's just a massive, massive state. I mean, there is so much empty land in the world in general, but in the United States, in Canada, there's a lot of empty land. A lot more than you guys think. If Trump delivers on his promises this term, can any Democrat beat him? I mean, if he's eligible to run, I guess. I mean, I don't see how he'd be eligible to run. The Democrats are not going to allow that. I just can't see it. You think China will take Taiwan? Not anytime soon. No, they're gray zoning Taiwan. Maybe in the 2030s. It's a very, very sophisticated conquest for China. But it looks so easy because look at how small Taiwan is. But Taiwan's a built-up country. It's very hard to invade Taiwan. Be a very, very annoying war for the Chinese to win. Which they might end up. I mean, we can see the writing on the wall. They tell countries to call it Chinese Taipei. I mean, it's fucking crazy. They don't even recognize it as an actual country. They removed the Obama photo from the White House today. Did they? Seriously? Well, they probably removed Trump's photo during Biden's, so they just... It's just president. Everyone in Canada lives alongside the border. The only provinces where most of the land is habitable. Probably New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island. Yeah. I mean, habitable is like a moving word. There's a lot of habitable places in Canada. It's just going to be colder in certain areas. I mean, certainly the territories are, I would say, not really habitable. But they still have cities up there like Whitehorse, Yellowknife as well. No, I mean, can anyone beat his successor? If it's Vance, it's gonna be hard for them. If Trump has a successful term and Vance takes over, it's gonna be very hard. Basically, a built-in almost. Well, I mean, the problem with Vance is it's just getting that MAGA vote out. But you could argue Vance would do better with college-educated whites. When people tell you we're overpopulated, cringe, show them the human heat map. Most of the world is literally just empty land. Yeah, but I don't think anyone says that anymore. because they're retarded when they said it, and it just people shut up about that. I haven't heard anyone say that the world is overpopulated. I mean, certain cities are overpopulated. Look at, I was watching a YouTube video of India and just the street food. I mean, it's just crazy, just how overpopulated India is in certain cities, and just, I mean, how does that even get fixed? You have to just completely, the investment it would take to fix that and just relocate those people into other cities to make it more manageable is just an insane scale. But you're right. I mean, but I don't think anyone really says we're overpopulated anymore. It's an insane thing to say. But I think Musk was the one to really shut that down when he went on Rogan that one time and talked about it. North of most of the provinces is habitable, just not very productive in terms of, yeah, I mean, you can't grow much there. Because it is cold, but I mean, their summer months are not that bad. Even in the provinces, the summer months are warm. Or the territories, I should say. Vance would win New Jersey, New Hampshire. Yeah, no, those would probably be the two ones I would pick in terms of a flip. Yeah, that's probably what I'd pick. New Jersey just seems like it's moving really quickly. New Hampshire is smaller population, a lot more independent people. They'd probably, a little bit more sophisticated. They'd probably more so vote Vance than someone like Trump. Because Trump lost New Hampshire by like 4 points, but you're dealing with a small population. It's not many people you have to switch or flip. And New Hampshire, like the number one, in terms of registration, like independents are the most in New Hampshire. No wonder they shit in the streets. It's just, it's unmanageable, the population density they have. They just completely overwhelm their cities. Who is the better economy, Russia or China? Well, China certainly has a more powerful economy than Russia. Douglas Murray is a freak, so is Jasmine Crock of shit. Yeah, Douglas Murray. People got really angry. You know, there were a lot of divided people on the Douglas Murray stuff. I think the rhetoric is just tired at this point. Like the idea you shouldn't be platforming these people to share what they have to say. I mean, the only thing that Douglas Murray kind of had a point on was when some people will say something pretty crazy or very, I guess, against the norm, and then they'll say, well, I'm just a comedian or this, to try and immediately basically get out of any blame for you know what they were saying. But I mean, you can't police speech like that. It's ridiculous. You shouldn't have you should only have these expert people on. Like, come on. That's not even what Rogan's podcast is. They talk about like 40 issues during the show. When are we getting Hearts of Iron? I don't know. That game is hard to learn. I was watching some people play it. Play videos of Trump. Yeah, they probably do have videos of Trump on that plane, I would imagine. It's probably a few. Take a look at that. The only reason that you would be against is if you want illegal aliens to vote. Well, that's absolutely correct. We need Pam Bondi to come out. Like, come on.
And we know that your ultimate goal is to not allow them to have a nuclear weapon. What are your short-term goals for talks this weekend?
Only that. I want them not to have a nuclear weapon. I want Iran to be a wonderful, great, happy country. But they can't have a nuclear weapon. And we're negotiating with them. On Saturday, we have a big meeting with them.
What do you hope to come?
And right now, we have a meeting with President Putin as we speak. There's a meeting going on right now. But with Iran, I want them to flourish, but they can't have a nuclear weapon.
He's having a meeting with Putin, and there's a meeting with Iran tomorrow. So we'll see. See what happens there. About a month ago, you saw a new 9/11 video shot from a guy's apartment. He returned to a destroyed apartment weeks after. You've been trying to find the video, but no luck. Maybe it's not new. Well, I constantly see new videos on 9/11. There's so many videos. It's crazy. On that 9/11 Reddit, I see it. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Partially agree with you, but Rogan used to be a fun show. Now he just brings on political idiots who never discuss facts, just wild theories followed by Twitter-fueled ramblings. I mean, I don't watch Rogan anymore. That's the thing. Doesn't Rogan bring on a bunch of comedians too, and they just talk politics the whole time? But yeah, dude, you know what? I saw a really old show when Rogan had Arian Foster on, the NFL running back, and it did seem like a much more laid-back show and different compared to what it is now. But now I just see clips. I don't even see the actual full show. I used to listen to it when I would work out and stuff, and I mean, I went through a period where I listened to like 30 or 40 of his podcasts. PGA 2K25. No, I don't play that. Maine refuses federal mandate to ban transgender athletes despite risk of school funding. They're gonna get all their funding cut off. Trump already told them. Ever heard of LOL Superman? Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's real. Seems like somebody would have found it by now. Rogan talks about the same 7 things every episode. Yeah. Remember when he was obsessed with COVID? I mean, it really was every time. And the thing is if you watch Rogan a lot, he would say the same exact quotes. It would be like once every 3 episode. He's like, well, I got to tell you guys, there's something. Hurt people, hurt people. You remember that when he would say that? Hurt people, hurt people. I mean, I understand it, but it's like, they would say it every episode, I remember. I mean, I guess if you have 3 hours to fill, you got to talk to people every day. That's what happens. You explained 10-year yield does it just equate to interest rates? Well, yeah, the idea right now is we want the 10-year yield to go down. Because obviously the market has gone up the past week, but when there's blood in the market, people rush to yields, which makes the demand for yields be less, so the rate on the yields goes down. And so when the rate goes down, that's when they pump the economy, and that's when the rate cuts come. So it becomes more of a favorable investing time, and then they'll spike when people want to invest into the stock market, so they take money out of the yields, and then the yields go up. That's the idea behind it. But a bunch of the countries, because of the trade war, sold all their yields, even with the stock market going through turmoil. You see Paxton is primarying Cornyn? Yeah, I saw that. He should win. You can't really blame Rogan for repeating himself. He's talked so much. Yeah, I know. I understand, but it does. He's gonna have to repeat himself. We're doing 3-hour podcasts every day, I guess. I mean, and that's what happens when you do a deal and you gotta force the podcasts. But he's still talked to a lot of people that there's just so many people you could talk to in the world. Like, there are so many people that are interesting, and that's the thing that I was thinking about, just on YouTube, but just in the political sphere. Douglas Murray called Joe out on his bullshit, and Joe was just at a loss for words. Keeps spreading misinformation under a comedian guise. Yeah, but I mean, come on. Like, you're going to police who he has on? Really? It's Rogan's podcast. He has people on, they talk negatively against Israel, whoop-de-fucking-do. Like, just soft. You don't have on enough pro-Israel people. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? I get paid $20 million a year. What the fuck are you telling you? Who are you to tell me who I have on my podcast? I don't give a shit. That's what I would say if I was Rogan. You watch any of the Daily Wire guys? If I see it's on X. So if I see their clips, it'll be on X. It's mainly Walsh and Shapiro. I don't really see much of anything on Knowles on X. It's astonishing. Everyone at the Minecraft movie are grown dudes, 16 to 18-year-olds, hardly any kids. Well, I mean, there's got to be a lot of kids, dude. I was at the theaters. I didn't see the Minecraft movie, but there's a lot of fucking kids up there, man. There's a lot of kids. That Minecraft movie is going to rake in so much money. They had 12 showings in a single day. Every 30 minutes, it's showing in another in a theater. Thoughts on PBD podcast? Yeah, I mean, there are some good clips that come from the PBD stuff sometimes. He had Sam Cedar on. That was another, I think that was round 2 with Cedar, where Cedar reiterated that he wants a 90% tax if you make over $4 million. And I mean, I don't know, it's just frustrating. They were trying to argue with him, but it's like, I don't understand how a grown adult can think that that's a good idea. And it's like, well, we had it in 1950. Well, you don't think the current situation that we have, if you just decided to tax all the millionaires 90% of their money, they wouldn't either find loopholes or offshore accounts. There's just no economic incentive to make money in the United States. If you're taxing me at a 90% rate over $4 million, there's no way we would see the same innovation at all. Zero chance. One of the dumbest fucking things ever. That's why that's why communism now is extremely popular with 18 or 19-year-olds. The kids don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You get like an 18-year-old that says, I like communism because it's fair. Or I like heavy socialism. That's what because socialism is a gateway to communism. A lot of people want communism, but they say socialism just because it sounds more digestible to people. Trying to ban Hollywood movies. Yeah, I saw that. Who really cares? Cedar was so bad he's a moron, and somehow PBDers were so bad at debating him too. I know. I just ask, like, so you plan to implement this? What do you think the people that are really rich that are getting taxed at right now? I mean, what is the highest tax rate? Like 37, 39%? Then you add on state, it's like 54%, some shit. You go from 54% to 90%. Do you think that very rich people that have extreme wealth and extreme power are not going to find a workaround for that? Really? Okay. And do you think they're going to be as incentivized to invest in the United States with the... I mean, it's like, no. PBD really got wrecked over bitching about Pierre not coming on his show. He doesn't have enough Canadian watching, whereas Rogan might have an audience. Oh yeah, isn't he going on Rogan, I saw? But I agree. I thought that was completely out of bounds by PBD. He basically probably reached out to Pierre. Pierre said no thanks, and he got butthurt, and so he talked about it on his show and called him out. Like, this is like a 5-year-old. It's like a 3rd grade type mentality. Like, seriously, dude. Fartcoin hit $1. Dude, the bull market is back on. No, it didn't. Wait, maybe I don't know. Maybe it did. I didn't even know what it was at. It's about to. Damn. It's back on. Come on. Come on, weed coin. They got all these other fucking things. Where's weed coin? It's not even on here. It needs more Can't believe a grown adult can still argue for socialism in modern day American history. Well, I know it's like, I mean, you understand the attractiveness of it. You know, you're basically splitting up the wealth, but it's like, come on, man. There's no way in the 21st century something like that would ever be done, and it would be a positive thing. Trump needs to tariff China 200%. I don't think he's going to tariff China anymore. He's at like 145 right now. I think he said he wanted to table the tariff increases and start working out a deal. Now, if they're not cooperating, he'll probably up the tariffs if they're not cooperating in negotiations. For someone America first, why is he so horny to cover Canadian election? Now, I don't think he is. I just think he had a personal beef with Paul Vier, basically sunning him and telling him he didn't want to go on his show. I don't even think he cares that much about the Canadian election, honestly. He just got really angry that Paul Vier denied him, and so he just was not happy about it. It did. It got to 99 cents. Dude, it didn't get to 99 cents. I saw it. The top candle was at like maybe 900 million. That's 90 cents. But I don't know. Maybe I'll take your word for it. What is your stance on mixed libertarian socialism? Dude, come on with this. Like, libertarian and socialists, I mean, it's just they put opposites together. They think it's a positive. Do you think a tier 1 exchange will list Fartcoin before May? I don't know. I can't predict whether it'll have before May. I mean, Fartcoin is going to obviously be a big coin in the cycle. Thank you for that. Does a 145% tariff on China also affect their backdoor through other countries? Well, that's why Trump tariffed all the other countries, and this is what I think is going to happen. I don't know if this can be 100% done, but, you know, there's going to have to be a negotiation with these countries that say that there will still be tariffs on any backdoor products from China. Because remember, that's the exact thing that happened with Mexico with the North American trade agreement that we have. Trump paused tariffs imported from Mexico that were protected on the agreement, and the tariffs the goods that were protected were originated in Mexico. But if Mexico gets goods from China and then they give them to the United States, those are still tariffed. So that's all going to have to be negotiated out of these countries, so that China can't use loopholes through other countries, because that's what they were doing during Trump's first term. Pierre is throwing a tantrum now, calling Carney's haircut a banker's haircut. Poof. The Canadian gossip is starting. All communist dictators are billionaires. What the fuck are they talking about? Right. I mean, it's never going to be equality. There can't be equality if you have a government, especially a government as powerful. Who runs the government? People run the government, so the people have the power. That's not equal. They have more power than everyone else. There's no division of power. It's actually even more unequal in terms of power. But it just makes everyone else's lives worse outside of the people in charge. When you've got like a socialist type setup or a communist setup. Fellow Ohioan, you're sick of the garbage weather. It's been really bad. Like, really bad. And it's going to be bad next week. But I'm happy about it. I like when it's cold, dude. You know, I like when it's in the 40s, 50s. I just don't like when it's hot out. So, but dude, we get hit everywhere anyways in the lower 48 pretty much. During the summer, it's just hot everywhere. You really can't escape it. But I agree, it has been really shitty weather for April. Like, even next week's going to be bad. Islamic infiltration of Texas, please. Yeah, Epic City. That's totally fucked, man. I don't know how something like that's allowed. You got a VPN and put $50 onto that Polymarket ceasefire item. 2% chance right now, 10 days to go. You're being an optimist. Yeah, I mean, that type of stuff can potentially, but it's, like, it just seems unlikely. The thing is, dude, who knows? You could get big news next week, and they could be moving to something, or you could get zero news on that war. It's really just, nobody really knows. I mean, I guess if you really look at, you could probably really look into it and see, are they potentially going to be meeting? Is there any chance of it happening next week? I mean, if you're betting on it, I would look into it like that. But a lot of these things, it comes up, you know, it'll just come up on Monday. Oh, now they're in talks for an actual ceasefire, and then it becomes a storyline and a narrative. Did you see there's a photo on the 9/11 subreddits resurfacing of a supposed... Yeah, I haven't seen... I don't think I've seen that one. Supposed demolition crew entering World Trade Center. That would be a good video. Demolition crew? Before... You know, there was reports that there was a power down in both the Twin Towers in the days leading into it, and that people were... Like, workers were entering it, and there were no security cameras on, things like that. I mean, who knows? Honestly, we're like... It's just, it would have to be such an elaborate thing. I don't think people realize how elaborate that would have to be to, you know, have the buildings detonate from the inside like that. And I mean, to me, it's almost totally impossible, at least when it comes to the South Tower. You know, if you see how the North Tower fell a little bit more, you know, it's harder to prove, but the South Tower bends in on itself. Basically, it fractures or it caves in at the in the hole, which is what you would expect if the building collapsed from the plane hitting it, because you get a really good view of an HD view basically of the South Tower, the hole, and the wall invert. Thank you for the $1.99 watch. Warfare in IMAX, 10 of 10. Hate Cheney even more. I never even heard of that, man. I'll have to check it out. The dude, there was some. The other crazy thing about this was this podcast with Douglas Murray. I guess Dave Smith must have mentioned Paul Wolfowitz. It was like a crazy neocon within the Bush administration. He had gained power within it, and Murray's like, you shouldn't talk about him because he's Jewish. Like, what? Like, that is a major neocon. Of course we're going to talk about him. Like, you're policing who we can talk about can't talk about because they're Jewish? I don't understand that. That makes no sense. Like, whether he's Jewish or he's not, if you want to talk about the invasion, the Afghanistan, and Iraq, I mean, he was a huge part. Along with Richard Pearl, who's... The tyrants at YouTube put me in jail. Can you talk here? What? Would you say something on one of the videos or something? Now you're capping? What, on the collapse? Not really. I mean, I've seen it, bro. Did you see the Warhawk GOP senators preparing sanctions against Russia? Sanctions in what form? We're trying to negotiate with Russia. Why would we sanction them? We want them to come to a peace deal. Like after the war? Have you ever watched those anti-CCP propaganda channels like China Observer? I've never seen any of that. There's a lot of that stuff where they'll show really good things within China. There's great innovation within certain parts of China. Absolutely. I mean, they've got a massive economy. Of course, there's going to be really impressive parts. But obviously, they're not going to show you the bad stuff. They've got so many people in poverty, so many people living on top of each other. And we have that here too, but not to anywhere close to the same extent in terms of the amount of poverty they have, and obviously the working conditions. Was up 7K in the casino, lost 6K. Love y'all. John, what's up? The whale. The whale takes a loss. The whale takes a loss at the casino. Murray's always been a neocon, unfortunately, but it's just such a stupid thing. Like, you can't talk about this neocon because he's Jewish and that makes you anti-Semitic. Come on. But I mean, a lot of these people that are pro-Israel are feeling the heat because there's a lot of anti stuff going on. And you know what? In some cases, I do think it's there's a lot of assigned blame to Jews right now because it's very easy to blame them. A lot of the times, it's not that. I mean, it's because they're such a small percent of the population in the United States, yet they have so much power and wealth. But I mean, the conversation there has definitely shifted. Podcast fatigue. Yeah, everyone has a podcast. That's the problem. That is the issue. What would you consider a 19-year-old a kid? And until what age would you consider it not a kid? Because earlier the chat had trouble understanding that. Well, I mean, I think of a kid as like a 14, 15-year-old. Probably that's a kid. 16, I mean, I guess you're still a kid. They say with, when you're 19, I guess you're an adult. But I mean, I wouldn't really call a 17-year-old really can't classify it as a kid necessarily. Love your streams. Caden, thank you. I appreciate that. Murray sounded like a leftist bitch. Another one of these conservatives. Yeah, I mean, he was just policing it. He was just trying to police speech. You think Trump has a personal hairstylist? Of course he does. He's the president. I'm sure Biden, with basically nothing, had a hairstylist and everything. 25? Well, that's when your brain fully develops, when you're 25. Kids, children under 13, teens are over 13. Yeah, like 0 to 12, and then teens are 13 to 19, and then... Do you think social media was ruined? I mean, you look at X and see how it's been ruined by the incentive to make money. It's a combination of both. I mean, it's hard to decipher which one. Do you think Trump might replace Waltz if the Russia deal is not done? Well, he's like a fall man for sure because of the texting thing with Signal. He's on thin ice. He's expendable within the administration. So if someone does something, they might just have him fall for it. I don't know. I mean, Waltz it seems like people really can go either way on him. How do you like the new fake Pac-12 or 8 or 9? Yeah, I mean, it's like a mosh pit of teams, I think. I mean, you're conjumbling group of 5 teams together. It's just not like a group of 5 conference. Australia has another big election coming up. Famously went into lockdown over the... Yeah, I'll take a look at that. I think I saw that on here. See if the conservatives can win. Isn't there like there's an elections thing right here. Oakland mayor election? The labor went up. You'd pay so much for a free speech site like YouTube. What? Oh, you mean like the same thing as YouTube, just without the speech restrictions? Because of Google. I mean, technically, you can go to Rumble for that, I guess. Has a Democrat ever seen me in real life? No, I keep it low key. I don't want to be recognized. Honestly, it's awkward. You don't want that, especially by you get a heckler, and I guess it's not a big deal, but your issue with Rumble is their content, their comment section sucks. Yeah, no, their interface is really bad. Rumble's interface is bad, so I can understand why you're mad about them. But they would be the free speech, I guess. My concern with Rumble is I don't know how much of it's bots, honestly. I mean, maybe none of it is. I don't know, but it just seems like. You think for men it's 25, for women it's 23? Yeah, well, women do mature quicker than men, at least at the start. Although nowadays with women and social media, it doesn't even fucking matter. Now, I really don't live in a rural area, man. I live in, I would say, a more conservative city, maybe like 65-35, like maybe like 68-32, maybe 70-30, maybe 70-30 conservative. But it's not like crazy 90% conservative. YouTube has mad bots and comments too. Yeah, I know. It's all those like sex bots that are in comments. I see them. Bombshell report accuses CNN doxing director of national intelligence Tulsi Gabbard. FBI makes arrest. CNN doxed Tulsi? Imagine being worth so much money and having to put on a fake tan. What, Trump? Well, that's part of Trump's persona. He has to have that. That's part of his entire thing. Out of any Western leader, Trudeau had the worst COVID policies, public health. Well, yeah, I mean, COVID was such a shit show, but in Canada, I can only imagine it's 10 times worse because of how liberal the country is. So some of the policies in Europe were not that bad, but a lot of it had to do with like their populations are just different. Remember when IG had a huge bot problem from 2020 to 2022? Still do, but then it was all over. Yeah, but X has that problem too. Still, so does YouTube has a big crypto bot problem to where fake bots will leave comments and then other bots will comment under them and talk about it. It's really bad. Feel like 17 should be a kid. A decoy featured on To Catch a Pred was 17. They got the dude arrested. Yeah, well, that's certainly the law. But I think it's just more so in like the verbiage of a teenager versus what's like a, because when you think of a kid, you think of like a 10-year-old. Ben Shapiro, when asked why he won't move to Israel, because he can do more good for Israel by being in the... Did he say that? Did he say the reason he... That's got to be a joke. He said the reason he won't move to Israel is because he can do more good for Israel by being in the United States. I mean, his allegiance is obviously with Israel over the U.S. IG is the Fourth Reich. Well, I mean, X is pretty... X is uncensored now. But IG, yeah, you'll see a lot of clips like that. What's the deal with Pam Bondi? I mean, you know, people like what Pam Bondi's been doing outside of the Epstein debacle. Who's going to the finals? I'd say the Cavs, probably. The Cavs seem like the best team. X is full Nazi right now. It's crazy. Made an X hoping make martial arts related vids and can't find anything that's not political on the whole website. Really? It doesn't surprise me too much. Yeah, it's gotten really political. I mean, I think that's just that's what was going to develop anyways, but definitely with like all the free speech that's allowed now. I mean, there's an extreme rise with Musk. Certainly, and it's to be expected. I mean, you could argue how much October 7th played into it, but how pro A2A are you? Second Amendment? Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely pro gun. I think if they, you talk about military grade stuff, when the problem is when they start restricting, they won't stop, and it turns into a situation like the original Fight For. The model that they use would be like, allowing gay people to get married, and what that's turned into, and just how crazy it's gotten to where it keeps going further and further and further. When you start banning certain weapons, it's going to just keep going and going and going until everything's banned. The problem is you can't really give an inch on that stuff, because if you do, they'll take a football field. Was shocked by your World Trade Center photos. Building was in terrible condition, need of renovation. Yeah, the problem is that building, the way that the slit windows work, they got very little natural light. It's just really, and plus the floors were extremely, in terms of their height, they were extremely short, and so like that combination is just really bad for a skyscraper. It's just gonna look bad. It's just all cubicles. McDonald's coming soon to World Trade. It was supposed to go in McDonald's. It's a good little tidbit. Frank, what's up, man? What's going on? Just on here, little late night stream. I think I've gone a decent amount. I'll go a little bit longer though. Trump looked rather pale. Yeah, I think it's probably a lack of it's a lack of makeup. I think Trump looks decent here though. In general, he looks thinner. The next big thing we'll see is delisting of Chinese companies on U.S. stock exchange. No more U.S. investors for them. Yeah, I don't know if Trump's going to play hostile like that, at least when it comes to, looks like they're going to be talking. Do a full Minecraft movie review. I didn't even see the Minecraft movie, man. Come on. I didn't see it. Couldn't imagine how hot the fires were in the Twin Towers. Yeah, dude, fires are just fire. It's like demon fuel. Fires and smoke. Smoke is it's terrible to deal with, especially I mean, they said the elevators were basically chimneys, just ventilating all the smoke into the upper floors and just all the. I mean, the top floors. It's just all smoke. You just couldn't breathe. I watched Snow White. Yeah, it was the last showing of Snow White. The last showing in theaters, I watched it. Just like the one Ozempic, later the fat acceptance is gone. Yeah, but you got to be careful with Ozempic. I hear there's problems with Ozempic. But I mean, people always say that. But dude, you got to be careful with some of these drugs that people are taking. Side effects are real. Side effects cannot be fucked with, man. When you take some of these things, I'll tell you. Like the stream. Yes, like the stream, please. World Trade Center conspiracy theorists say there were no plane parts or remains, but I thought they found wheels and a passport. Well, no, they wouldn't be talking about the Twin Towers. There was a lot of plane parts that got ejected out of the buildings. They were probably talking about the Pentagon or Flight 93. Watching on the way to work. And if you work the night shift, or are you in a crazy time zone? Or I guess not a crazy time zone for you, but are you in Europe? If you don't like the stream, I'm reporting you to ICE. That'll get the likes up. That'll get the likes up to 1,000. 9/11 files. Yeah, we're waiting. I mean, I think at some point, let's get the Epstein stuff first. But I agree. I think more 9/11 stuff. It's gonna be all Saudi related bullshit. I mean, Saudi was involved for sure. They're gonna do this. They're gonna. I mean, that's what they did in 2022. Biden dumped a bunch of shit. It implicated Saudi Arabia, which I agree with. I mean, they were definitely involved. 12 to 8 nights. Damn, bro. Midnight to 8 a.m. Shit. You must get paid good money, hopefully. Ozempic is terrible. Cannot believe it's given to children. Calories in, calories out. It's as simple as that. Yeah, no, 100%. That's what it is. Any concern about asteroids? YR24? I don't know. I mean, there was one asteroid, I showed it on stream a few months ago. They were like, this asteroid now has a 3% chance of hitting Earth in the year 2029. And then a day later, they lowered it down to a 0.0001% chance of hitting Earth. I don't know if that's the asteroid you're talking about. I don't think it is, but... What stocks do you own? I don't know. I don't own any stocks personally. I own crypto. Why did Tower 7 collapse? Building damage. Oh, man. Any stories on meeting viewers IRL, viewers recognizing you IRL? No, I try to keep to myself. I don't really like being recognized. But it's just awkward, you know? RFK got to do something about the Ozempic stuff. Oh man, imagine they lost the Ozempic. They'd be like, we can't. They wouldn't vote for conservatives anymore. I don't know if RFK is going to do anything. He'd have to snatch up Trump's supply first. He'd be like, we would do something about Ozempic, but Trump has said, you're not touching my Ozempic. No, I don't know if Trump's on Ozempic or not. It's just he lost weight. Anytime you lose weight now, they think you're on Ozempic. Does the Titanic anniversary interest you? 113 years. Yeah, I'm gonna have a video coming out about the Titanic in relation to the Fed being created in a year after it. But I think it's all bullshit conspiracies. I've looked into it. I don't believe in the conspiracies with it at all. I mean, I'll just tell people what I find, and if I find it to be bullshit, it'll be bullshit, you know. But I'll do a video on it. Did you hear MTG buying stocks hit by tariffs? Yeah, I heard about that. Well, aren't they trying to get like people on insider stuff, and they're trying to get people within the Trump administration? It just doesn't work because they all do it. So it's like it's always like it's just gonna be a wash. It's not gonna go anywhere. They're like, well, Trump said to buy his own stock the morning before he put a pause on everything that boomed the market. But it's just it's not gonna have an actual effect because we already know Democrats do it as well, and they've done it for years. You feel weird about face doxing for streams? What do you mean face doxing? Do a video on the Jewish Patriot Act. But yeah, that's another thing that happened because of 9/11. That's the way that democracies can take rights away from citizens. It's in the name of safety. It's how it always happens. They say, well, we have to protect you, so we have to take your rights because it's going to protect you. How do you get enough followers to live stream, bro? What, you're trying to live stream? I mean, I don't know how many subscribers you have. You have to see how many subscribers you have, and a certain amount of subscribers will probably watch your streams if they like you. Cats or dogs, which is better? Why? I'm not anti-cat. I like my cat a lot, but I think dogs are you know, a little bit better. But I don't, you know, some people are anti-cat. They hate cats. I don't hate cats. I like both dogs and cats, honestly. Anytime the VIX is over, yeah, dude, the VIX was up 88% over the past month I saw. Trump stood up to Israel with the tariffs. That's true. That's true. That is true. I talked about it. We'll see what happens though with Iran, and I mean the Israel-Palestine situation is just fucked for Trump no matter what he does. Do you foresee another 9/11 event in the near future? You can't predict that. I would obviously hope not. The last thing we need is anything like that. Flight 93 slammed into the ground at 600 miles per hour. There was stuff left, to be fair. But I mean, that's not the main conspiracy anyways. But they found parts of Flight 93 in the woods in the area within, Shanksville Township. But, they say it was shot down. That's the conspiracy with 93. I mean, I guess some people say there was no plane, but I mean, they recovered plane parts. Did you see Peter Ducey freak out about a bird almost pooping on his head? Yeah, I saw that. That was a pretty funny clip this morning. Trump announces special envoy Joe Biden to head peace talks between Israel and Palestine. Yeah, Biden would do a great job. War with Iran inevitable? No, I think it can be. Well, I don't know. The problem is Iran doesn't trust Trump, so the current administration that's negotiating with Iran does not trust them. So it seems unlikely because Trump ripped up the first nuclear deal. That's the issue. So now they're trying to have another nuclear deal. Love your content, brother. Unreal End, but your dad was... Wow. FDNY 9/11. Cover a lot of that stuff. You always believed a lot of 9/11 unknown. Family suing Saudis. Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff with that and a lot of Middle Eastern countries involved. Time do you wake up? What is your daily routine? I used to be on a much better routine than I am now. It's not good at all. But yeah, I wake up a bit 9ish. But the problem is I don't go to sleep till about 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. sometimes. Depends. Sometimes I'll wake up at 8. I used to wake up at 6 a.m. and that was just because I worked out in the morning. But like I've gained more muscle now. The weird thing is I'm noticing I'm gaining more muscle and less body fat when I don't work out. Like I have a good amount of muscle now. I'm not even kidding. I'm being honest. Like I gain muscle when I don't work out, and I gain very little body fat. Love the deep dives, Brandon. Thank you. Yeah, some people hate cats. They're just very anti-cat. They just can't deal with cats. They can't deal with cats. You're about to punch your screen. 3-second lag is driving you. But the 3-second lag on this stream, well, I had to put a lag onto it because I was dropping frame rates without latency. But I mean, I'm gonna get better Wi-Fi. I'll get really good Wi-Fi upgrade, I'm sure. Your depression was way better when you adjusted to normal bedtime, still depressed. Yeah, I mean, it is good to have some type of routine, some semblance of a routine. I mean, I always do like one video. It just depends in terms of my filming, but I try and do certain times. You like metal? No, not. I mean, I guess just I don't listen to a ton of music. I mean, I like different like scores, like movie tracks, soundtracks, shit like that. It's just like white people stuff. I mean, that's. What was your video deal and coming on China in short? Well, it's just talking about the current economic situation and the deal that is now Trump and China have said they're willing to negotiate. That's basically the update. Trump and China are going to negotiate. It seems like they're done tariffing each other. Trump's got the 145% tariff. China, I think, also has like 145% tariff now. And so they're going to be negotiating. That's basically it. And they're going to, at some point, I think, come to an agreement. Oh, they have to come to an agreement. You got to get back on your carnivore-ish diet. Yeah, I've heard about that. I got a steak in the fridge. Maybe I'll do the steak tomorrow. I'll do a steak and potatoes tomorrow. That would be good. But the problem is with steak, it's like it doesn't fill me up enough. I guess it depends how big the steak is. Interstellar soundtrack is the best. Yeah, there's a few soundtracks I used to listen to when I'd work out. Well, Interstellar, of course. It's an all-timer. Dude, you know what I had? I haven't had these in a while. Hot Pocket, but it was a breakfast Hot Pocket. I got home from this movie and I was hungry. You can't have any concessions. There's like all these fucking kids. They're all infesting the concession area. It's just a mess. So I didn't have any concessions, but I got home, like 9:30 before I got on this stream, and I just had this Hot Pocket, but it was a breakfast like burrito. It was good, man. It's good for you. A lot of protein, a lot of good carbs, clean. There's a reason I'm in great shape. When you make diet decisions like that, that's gonna help. It's gonna help give you a solid build, and that's what happens. You've been eating too much carbs. Yeah, I mean carbs. I mean, you eat snacks, you're gonna have carbs. I eat a lot of carbs myself. I used to not eat any carbs, and now I eat a lot of carbs. Hot Pockets aren't good for you? Well, yeah, if it's an egg and cheese Hot Pocket. RFK approved, bro. It's all RF. There's Bobby Kennedy on the fucking cover of it, bro. Come on. This is like morning meals. You ever have fucking sausage and egg and cheese, and this is all good stuff for you. You got to be able to eat this stuff. I mean, you can't always have just chicken. What time did you go to the movies? Like 7 o'clock. Like 7 o'clock. It wasn't even dark out. I went in, and it was about 40 degrees. I mean, it's cold. It's about 45 degrees. But I like it. I like when it's cold. Well, it was a bit too cold when you get home. Or you going home. It's got to like 30 degrees. If the Rays and A's made the World Series, would the MLB change stadium locations? If the Rays or A's, yeah, because they're both in the AL, so they can't make. But they're not going to make it. Yeah, I think they would have to change. They would have to do something like that. They just wouldn't allow it. I think they already talked about that, especially for the Rays, because the A's are not going to have any chance. The Rays might have a 3% chance. Modern movies suck. I agree. I like the modern horror movies. They're decent. Dude, when I had a horrible experience at a movie theater. This was like 2 weeks before the election even. This was the last time I went to a movie theater. You know, I saw this one movie. It was, what was the movie? When you open up your fridge, RFK surprise motherfucker. RFK would be happy with what I mean, you look at this. This is nice right here. RFK likes, when you're built like that, you get RFK's approval. I'll have to do a lifting session with RFK. But yeah, I had a bad experience at the movie. God, I have this deja vu now. I feel like I've said this before, but it's just, I had a really bad experience at the movie theaters once. I think it was from the popcorn, I don't know. Ever seen the movie Over the Hedge? That's a classic movie. It's a classic movie, man. Just, I know that imagine I actually lifted. I'd be fucking jacked as hell. Explain the bad experience. I don't know. My chest was like compressing, dude. The other problem is with these horror movies is we know how it is now on the internet. We're all so desensitized to everything. So what they do with the horror movies, this is the second one I've been to. What was the first one? God, what was that horror movie? It was like made after another horror movie. They remade it. I'm not gonna remember the name. It was like a year ago or something. But then this most recent one, Smile 2. That's the one I just saw. Well, this was like 6 months ago. You know, they just blare the noise because we've seen so much shit on the internet, right? We've seen all this stuff. They know really nothing's going to scare us too crazy. So they have to utilize noise to just try and elicit a reaction from people. And so with these horror movies, the noise is just insane. And I was like, I was having this like out of body experience, seriously. But it wasn't even like the movie was scary. It was just the loudness of it. Poltergeist? No, it wasn't that. This was like, that movie was actually, the one movie that I saw like a year and a half ago was scary. It was. Smile 2 is just really loud. I mean, there were scary moments in it too. It wasn't that bad. But the other movie was like, sick of remakes. Yeah, dude. I was like, the trailers look terrible too today. There's like this space movie. It's like this fucking bullshit with, it's like Groot or some bullshit in space. What happened to the space movies? Interstellar, The Martian, Apollo 18. Apollo 18. No, but seriously, I liked Apollo 18. But when you got like Interstellar and The Martian, and now we can't get a single good space movie, where are the space movies? Wasn't it First Man? It was an okay space movie, but there's just no elite space movies that have really good budgets. And it's like, how far away are we from Interstellar? A movie like that, a movie experience. How far away are we from Prometheus? These are god tier movies, and we're not even close. These are experiences in the theater. When you go see some of these movies with the soundtrack, with the actors, with the script, but we're not even close to any of that. Blair Witch Project was your favorite horror film in the theater to see? Sense of fear and apprehensiveness. Yeah, well, that is a relatively scary, like, found footage film. DM you for a link? Come on, man. You gotta get rid of this, man. Gotta get rid of the spam. Don't watch trailers? You have to watch trailers, though, because I want to get a sense for what I'm watching. Just discovered Kim Reynolds not running for re-election. Not good. She had a very bad approval rating in Iowa. It's probably good that she's not running. First Man was boring but great music. Yeah, I didn't really watch First Man. Apollo 18, the space, the spiders, and then he's just filming him as he sleeps. March was an amazing month for the channel. Yeah, because of March Madness. It always happens for me. And also, I had some big videos. I'm hoping for a big Canadian election. How many Canadians will tune in to my streams on the Canadian election? Hopefully a lot. I'll get a good payday out of that, maybe. Cannibal Holocaust is basically a snuff film. What was the one? Green Inferno. The Hills Have Eyes. Yeah, me and my friend used to watch a lot of films like that. Election nights are the nights the algorithm works good. Yeah, it is kind of funny. Well, dude, it's literally a snowball. That's all it is. Basically, more than normal people will be clicking on my. Well, also that's a discovery thing. Like when I say the Canadian election live stream, people are already going to search for it, so I'll get it in discovery. You're Alberta, Burden, and we'll watch your election videos. Yeah, because I've been getting a lot of people from Alberta. That makes sense because I've been doing videos specifically on Alberta seceding. You had multiple videos about tariffs that got over 100K views. Yeah, because it was like what I was saying that countries were caving into Trump, and those get views. Like, yeah. So I started doing a bunch of videos like that because it's like, listen, if you do videos and you put certain keywords in, the algorithm likes it. But I mean, it really just depends. You're partial to The Thing, the remake, the CGI. The CGI was real bad on The Thing, unfortunately. The Thing is a crazy creature, like, idea. It really is insane. Wrong Turn. Yeah, Wrong Turn's another one. But they made like 7 Wrong Turns. Bunny Man. Just low budget. Social Network. Bro, you always talk about The Social Network. The Social Network was a great movie, I agree. Smile is a creepy ass movie. Well, yeah, I saw the second one as well. Have you watched Cowboys vs. Aliens? A while ago. Dude, that movie was kind of like, but the thing is, I saw it when I was younger. Like, I have not seen it probably in, I don't know when it came out. What did it come out, like 2013? 2012? But I saw that probably like right when it came out or like right after it got released on DVD and then never saw it again. I would have to watch it again. I was just too young. Yes, Life is a good movie. That was a good cast as well. Gyllenhaal. That was a good ending. They made the ending fucked, which I like when movies do that. Where did it land exactly? In fucking Indonesia? Off the coast of Indonesia? The pod? What's with this dude? Thought you had a stadium and sports following, riding the money grab now? No, you're right. I could only comment on stadiums. You're right. Let me go make another stadium video. Like, come on. B movie was a classic. I saw it in theaters. Yeah. Very, very good, cute movie. Have you been going to sleep at a good time lately? Not really. Like 2, 3. I think I went to bed at like 3:30 last night. So no, it hasn't been very good. Matt Walsh said the moon landing did not happen. Yeah. Honestly, you know, it's one of those things to where a lot, basically, you know, all the conspiracy people, they love, oh, it didn't happen and stuff. Well, the thing is that people have to understand is the Soviets were tracking our Apollo missions via Doppler. And so if they sense that it, I mean, they admitted that it happened, the Soviet Union did, and that was the space race. And they conceded to it. So, I don't know. I mean, you can't 1000% prove it, but that's one of those things to where you have context to it, it's more real, believable. Remember the worst movie we watched was Suicide Squad from 2016. Now we got Snow White. Yeah, that movie used to get so many memes. People hated on it. Suicide Squad. Will you do another stream with Red Eagle close to the midterm? Yeah, I'm gonna start inviting people on my streams because they're getting boring and stuff. I think I'm gonna get someone on soon. But you know, people like in my niche. So it'd be good for the channel. Going to bed at degen hours is Gooner Libs, bro. Go to bed early like your ancestors. You know, I agree. I don't say that going to bed at 3 a.m. is good. It's very unhealthy. It's very unhealthy for your body clock. You should make a video recapping the 2024 election cycle. I kind of did that. I made an iceberg, but that was like right after it. But yeah, I mean, certainly because I covered basically the entire thing. I could probably make a pretty good retrospective on. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's called, the retro. But I don't even know if it's worth doing right now because it's too fresh. Retrospective 2024 election, but then it's like too fresh for that. USSR Venus pics. Yeah, did you see when what was that 81 when they did that? They landed that on Venus. Well, the pics are they're basically recreations. They're not actually the original picture the USSR said was of the ground of Venus, and then they like manipulated it somehow and then added like the upper area. It's a very interesting photo. Invite Tim Waltz on. 225 and dropping. Maybe I'll I'll go to him for like a Tesla. I'll be like, can you give me a Tesla stock update? You see the video of Waltz getting yelled at? Yeah, by the veterans. I saw that. You don't think the streams are boring, but guests would be cool to bounce off another personality. Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's like pretty much everyone else that streams. Most people seem to have guests and stuff, so like I understand it's probably better to form relationships and stuff. There's going to be another moon landing in 2027. Really? Well, obviously it is pretty crazy that we haven't gone back to the moon since Apollo, and then they say, well, it's because there's no reason to, but it kind of seems ridiculous that we wouldn't go back. That's what makes people think it's fake. Lots of people are pissed at Trump for posting about Douglas Murray. No way he posted about that, did he? Maybe on True Social. I was born in a small town. That is a goated walkout song. That was his song. I mean, I was born in a small town. I was born in a small town. But it just sounded like did Vance have a walk? I think Vance did have a song. But it was just so because it felt like only Waltz had an actual like theme song. None Trump, I mean, I guess Trump always comes out to the YMCA stuff and whatever, but it was like you always knew every time without fail when Waltz is introduced, that song is coming on. And then he did the Kami Bao one day and it was just beautiful. What would it be in Truth Social? I think it's like Trump Truth Social. I don't know where it is. There's an account. There's an account that I follow that reposts everything Trump posts on Truth Social. I don't have a Truth Social account. This is what it is. Land confiscation, South Africa. We'll see what Trump does about this. Trump tweeted about Murray's book and their good friend Israel. He tweeted about it or truthed it? Oh, dude, a money grab book right now? Oh, what great timing. Oh, man. A promo. Who told Trump to post this? I mean, it's a promo for his book. Be careful when scrolling on Twitter. You never, I know, especially with this, you know, it's really aids my algorithm on desktop compared to my phone. My phone has a much better algorithm. I don't know why the desktop algorithm is so bad. Working at the Kamala rally, I remember that. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for this live stream. I would say I'm gonna go to sleep, but I don't know if I will. Feel like crypto could be turned off instantly? No. I mean, what do you mean by like a massive power grid failure? They don't depreciate randomly in value. Yeah, but they also don't go up at what Bitcoin will go up at the same rate. Still be active on X. Yeah, because I don't go to sleep. I don't go to sleep. Watch Cowboys vs. Aliens. Yeah, that should be a movie on my list for sure. You don't want to keep streaming? Well, I mean, it's, I did stream for 2 hours starting at 9:45. All right, I'll see you guys.